The murder of Martha Cunningham, sin in the Bible Belt. Sometime between New Year's Eve 1974 and New Year's Day 1975, Martha Cunningham disappeared in Knoxville, Tennessee. According to her sister, faith and family were central to her life, and Martha was last seen headed to an evening prayer service at her church, Parkview House of God in East Knoxville. Nearly 3 weeks later, Martha was discovered deceased in a wooded area in East Knox County by two hunters. Her body was bruised and she was nude from the waist down with her pantyhose and girdle bunched around her knees. Her purse and some jewelry were missing. Authorities at the time stated that her body appeared to have been dragged into the woods and dumped behind a pine tree. Despite these circumstances, detectives attributed her death to natural causes within a day of discovery. The medical examiner's investigative report listed the probable cause of death as unknown. For more than 40 years, what happened to Martha Cunningham was officially dismissed as natural causes, despite the circumstances surrounding her death. Her family never believed that explanation. It just didn't make sense. The case remained officially closed until an unexpected confession from Samuel Little reopened it in 2018. Little, a convicted serial killer, told investigators he remembered the Knoxville woman only as Martha. He said he genuinely liked her and never meant to take her life. By the time of his confession, Little had recounted as many as 90 murders, spanning 35 years in more than a dozen states. While many of his claims remained uncorroborated, FBI crime analysts have stated that he may be one of the most prolific serial killers in U.S. history. Authorities across the country began working to match his accounts to unsolved homicides and missing persons cases. Little recalled details about Martha Cunningham that investigators say closely matched known facts. He described her as a short, light-skinned black woman who wore glasses, estimating her age at 29 or 30. Martha Cunningham was 34. Little also claimed she suffered from seizures. Both the medical examiner's report and her sister confirmed that Cunningham took medication to control epilepsy. In his confession, Little said he met Martha and took her to eat at a restaurant. He claimed that when he drove her home late that night in the rain, an older woman she lived with refused to let her inside. According to Little, he then drove her into the hills around Knoxville, about halfway out of town. He did not specify an exact location, but remembered that his car briefly became stuck in a ditch. Little said he tried to kiss her, placing his hand on her neck. She pushed him away, and a struggle followed. He claimed that as he tried to restrain her, pulling her underwear down around her knees, she suffered a seizure and died, while he strangled her with his hands. He left town shortly after the killing. For Martha Cunningham's sister, unanswered questions had existed long before any confession. Shortly before her sister's body was discovered, Jesse Lane Downs received a phone call at work. The caller did not give his name, and she did not recognize his voice. He said, "You can find your sister off Asheville Highway." She and her husband searched the area on foot, finding nothing. When they returned to their car, they heard a radio news report announcing that an unidentified woman had been found dead in East Knox County. It was Martha. Martha Cunningham's murder stands as a long unsolved holiday crime, not because evidence was absent, but because her death was misclassified, misunderstood, and dismissed for decades. And that raises an uncomfortable question. How many natural deaths were never natural at all?